Welcome, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm the man who has no eyes but can see everything in the world, your host, Mr. Andrew Valentin himself. And with me, what? You're looking at me kind of strange there. Catch you off guard with that one a little bit, Kevin?
All right, so how many fingers am I holding up?
12. I don't know numbers. Anyways. I'm having a real rough day here, ladies and gentlemen.
Clearly.
With me, as always, of course, is the man whose glasses are so nice I can see myself through them twice. It's Mr. Kevin Berger. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Doing well, Andrew. Doing well.
Still
We
not-
have a lot of NFL to talk about,
Oh, yeah, we do.
and a bunch of other stuff. Yes, I know. I forgot another snapback today. I was
Yeah,
so
you're not wearing your dope hat, man.
No. Do you know what was really aggravated me today too? Is
What?
I've made a point this morning to make sure that I packed a snapback,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got to the gym and I opened my bag to put it on, and
Yeah.
I realized I didn't have one.
Oh.
I was so upset.
That's the worst. Well, before we jump into the NFL, I wanted to ask you a real quick question.
Yes.
Something we kind of talked about a little bit beforehand,
Sure.
but I want to ask you, just as obscurity, how much would you pay to put your kid into college? I'm just curious on that. Because I'm sure you've heard of that whole story going on with the
yeah.
$25 million scandal that's going around for colleges.
I can tell you, I sure as all hell won't pay that much.
Yeah. The went upwards. So the price, if you haven't heard this, there's a scandal about 40-plus people are now being
Hollywood people.
indicted, including two actresses, Lori Loughlin, who was the
was-
Full House aunt.
Full House.
She was the wife to Jesse
And
Spano.
I think the other lady was Sex
She was
and the
on-
City, I believe.
No, Desperate Housewives.
Whatever,
Huffman.
same
I
thing.
can't remember her name.
Same thing.
But apparently these people have paid upwards of somewhere in the range of $100K to the most being, and I can't believe I'm saying this, $6.5 million.
Why? It's not that serious.
And it's all so they paid to this they paid to this recruiter or whatever, this guy who's supposed to help kids get set up for college and stuff, to have athletics on their, as a student. So they're student
weren't
athletes.
Some of them not athletes. Though?
They were all not athletes. None of them were athletes. One girl was supposed to be a top tennis player. Never played tennis a day in her life. The woman, Lori Loughlin, her two daughters, they were supposed to have rowed crew. Never have rowed a boat a day in their life.
Wow.
Not once.
Wow.
And yet they went to Stanford on a rowing. And apparently there's a video of one of these children saying, I didn't really want to go to college for education. I just want to go so I can party and have fun and all that stuff.
I.e. Oh no, I'm not gonna go that far.
Were you going to say something, Kev?
You know
Remember.
what? I don't want to. You know what? I forgot that we're on YouTube now, so YouTube could probably give us a strike for that. So,
Yeah, be
I'm
very
good.
cautious. We love the YouTube.
We do.
Yes, but but like you said, Kev, we got a lot.
Hey guys, if you guys do like any of our shows, drop a like. Feel free to comment, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon. So that way, whenever we decide to put anything stupid up, you guys can be the first ones to know.
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe here to the channel.
Subscribe.
X-Bomb Productions, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, X-Bomb Productions. Make sure to go like us on the Facebook page. You can find us there. Instagram as well, at X-Bomb Sports on
Twitter.
Instagram, at X-Bomb Sports on Twitter as well. Capital X on the Twitter. Remember that. But, yeah, that's all. I think we've pimped ourselves out enough there. But we've got a lot of, like you said, a lot of NFL to cover.
Now we just need to conquer the world of Snapchat, Tumblr, and LinkedIn.
We're working on that. It's a slow, gradual process, but we're getting through all the social media. But, Kev, you ready to dive into this, man?
Hell yeah.
I was full expecting you to be like, nah, I'm not ready. I need like 5 minutes.
Nah, I quit.
I'm out. Screw it. I'm out.
That's it for me.
All right. Well, let's get to it. The first thing we got to talk about here is obviously NFL free agency opened up this week. Already deals were being put into play before the signings could even happen. Today's the official day that the signings can actually happen.
First official day of the league year.
Yep. So, obviously, there's been a lot of big deals.
A few.
Quite a few. And I thought it would be good if we kind of, dropped through a few of these and kind of took a look at some of them and thought, see how everybody did.
Let's do it.
All right. So, one of the big deals, obviously, was Trey Flowers. He was, I don't know which was kind of weird because we talk a lot about Le'Veon Bell, certainly. We've talked a lot about all these other guys. Trey Flowers is the one, though, that it seems like unanimously across all social media, all the networks out there, he was the #1 free agent, and rightfully so. He's one of the top, I would say, 2-3 defensive linemen, I would say, out there. I mean, you got Khalil Mack, you've got
Aaron Donald.
Trey Flowers is right there. He's been so consistent for
Very
the
good.
Patriots. But luckily for him, he got his big payday as the Lions gave him get ready for this one, $90 million contract. $50 million guaranteed, and I believe it's a 5-year deal, 5 or 6 year deal. I think he's sitting with. So a lot of money thrown at this guy. Now, Kev, obviously the Lions, they've been needing a lot of help lately. So I was gonna say, what do you think of this deal? You don't like it?
Well, I was gonna say the team that he's going to is trash.
Yeah.
For him, I mean, it's good for him.
Right.
I mean, you can't argue with what was it, $50 million guaranteed?
$50 million guaranteed.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Andrew, that gives them something on defense. Because ironically, that the Lions' defense actually isn't awful.
No,
like,
it's not.
It's not terrible.
It's not the worst.
They've needed some help. They're obviously going to get some big-time help. I mean, Trey Flowers posted a career high in sacks this year. I think, what was it, 12 and a half, 13 and a half?
Yeah, he was up there. I'll have to check on that.
I mean, he was definitely in double digits for sacks.
Yeah.
Which the Lions desperately need.
Definitely. They haven't had a pass rush or any sort of pressure like him from the defense or the defensive line
since Sue left.
Since Ndamukong Suh, and when he was paired up with Cliff Averill and Jackson and
forgot about Cliff Averill.
Yeah, Williams and all those guys. So they haven't really had a lot on the defensive line, and also Nick Fairley as well. He was a pretty nice additive there for a while.
Fat Boy Fairley.
Yeah, Fat Boy Fairley. Yeah,
because he was like, he played for like 2 seasons, then he was too fat to play.
I mean, well, hey,
that's why he got hurt so much. He was too fat.
He's not that. He's not as bad as Cheeseburger Eddie, man. Cheeseburger Eddie was supposed to be like 240 pounds, and all of a sudden they're like, "You're 275. Like, you sure you want to play running back?" He goes, "I think so." It's what happens, man. But So you think this was a good deal for the Lions?
Oh, it was definitely a good job.
Okay.
Definitely a good sign. I mean, you can always use more pass rush.
Definitely.
You can never have too much of that.
Yeah. So Trey Flowers, just to give everybody a little indication, so he wasn't in double digits in sacks.
Oh, I thought he was.
But he has been consistent over the 4 years he's been with New England. The last 3 years he's been starting. He's been 7 sacks his second year in the league, 6.5 his third year, and then last year he was at 7.5 sacks. So he had his best season last year. He's a tackling machine. This guy has been averaging.
There he is beating up on everybody else in the league.
He's been averaging 40+ tackles the last 3 seasons.
Is he defensive end or defensive tackle?
It depends on how you seat him, because if you put him in the 4-3, he's a defensive tackle. But if you put him in that 3-4 situation, he's a defensive end there.
40 tackles from that, it's actually not too shabby from
a
guy that's flip flop. Especially you have to consider the New England defense too. There's never a lot of studs on New England's defense.
And the good thing about him too is that he's only 265 pounds, so he's interchangeable.
Doesn't look like it either.
No, he doesn't.
He's a built dude.
He's a very built man, and I mean it's going to work out, I think, well for the Lions. This is exactly what they needed. Certainly the number seems large. I mean, it's a lot of money to give to one player.
Could be worse.
But I think...
Could be the Jags.
I will say this, though. I think with this move, I think this confirms that there's no way that they're bringing back Ziggy Ansah.
No.
Because obviously last year they gave him the $17 million tender, so I don't think there's a chance that he's really going to be coming back soon.
Andrew, just real quick, breaking news on the college basketball front. Tyus Battle is confirmed to be out versus Pittsburgh for Syracuse tonight.
That is not good
for the second round of the ACC tournament with the bruised hip.
Then it's not looking good for Syracuse, man. We're going to have to, when we get to college basketball, that's going to be a tight one there. And, boy, that's going to be a fun one, too.
Yeah! Madness of March.
Absolutely.
Finally upon us.
But Tyler Flowers, I mean, I think this is a smart move for the Lions, and I think this is a building block for them. Just hopefully they can add something else to offense. I mean, because that's where it seems like
they don't have a whole hell of a lot now.
No, they don't. But Trey Flowers getting that big contract, ladies and gentlemen. So obviously away from Trey Flowers,
can we go to one that's kind of weird?
Which is who?
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles? Yeah, you want to jump to Nick Foles? Let's do it.
4-year, guys, for those of you who don't know, Nick Foles just signed a 4-year, $88 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
For doing what exactly? Oh, but he won a Super Bowl and he took him to the playoffs in back-to-back seasons. And yeah, and like why you hating on Nick Foles, Kevin? All right, sports fan, you may be onto something there. I might be hating a little too much.
Right.
But let's look at the numbers real quick. All right, let's take a look at the numbers here.
Yeah.
So Nick Foles has been in the league since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
He has not thrown for over 3,000 yards once.
No.
He's only thrown for over 2,000 yards twice.
Yep. And his best season was his second year in the league.
Yeah, where he threw 27 touchdowns and two interceptions, which admittedly that's pretty damn good.
But that's also, think about it too. You've got Brent Selleck, you've got Deshaun Jackson, you've got Jeremy Maclin still at that point. Not only that, LaShawn McCoy's in the backfield. So you're loaded offensively.
And then
so the pressure's off of him.
And then the next year, he threw 13 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in 8 games.
Exactly.
Now, 8 games, he got hurt. Then the next season, 7-10, 3-0, 5-2, 7-4.
Yeah.
I fail to see how he is worth $88 million.
Honestly, like, me and Tom have talked about this before, and it was when it didn't get. Trust me,
we go.
It didn't get heated like you think it is. But we had mentioned this before when the Eagles were going to the Super Bowl, and
that they're still trash.
But we were talking about how Nick Foles feels like sort of, to relate it sort of to baseball. He's like that relief pitcher that kind of comes in. Your main starter being Carson Wentz. He has a great season.
And then he gets hurt.
And then he got hurt, and he's worn down a little bit. So what do? You call on your reliever, and he kind of comes in and picks up the game, And sure enough, Nick Foles did that for the Eagles. They win a Super Bowl. He wins Super Bowl MVP. He certainly seems like a good, manageable quarterback, but can he play a full season? Well, he did once, but after that, he's kind of just –
talent.
Yeah, but he also had – he had a lot of weapons around him. Take those weapons away from him. What is he? Jacksonville doesn't have much.
No.
They don't have anything really. They're depending mostly on the defense to kind of do a lot of the dirty work.
Yeah.
And now you've got a situation where you're not only paying one quarterback a lot of money, you're paying 2. Because Blake Bortles is under a big contract as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So you've got, and I think they said it's like around $140 million locked in on 2 quarterbacks, neither of which have really set themselves apart from saying, yeah, he's their starting quarterback. Except for Nick Foles has won a Super Bowl.
Breaking news, everybody. The Bears have officially cut Cody Parkey.
And as you can tell, Kevin's pretty happy about that.
And also Rasad Coward, Isaiah Irvin, and defensive end Roy Robertson Harris receive exclusive right tenders. And I have no idea what in God's name that means.
So that means they have the right to sign them back. That's basically what that means.
Why didn't they just say that?
Well, because there's special words for special things, Kevin. You got to remember that. I know. No, but
stupid ESPN.
That was bound to happen. But he still walks away with all that money. He gets all that. Look, it's a smart move. Yes, we need a new kicker. Certainly, thought he was going to be good because he made the Pro Bowl the year before.
For God's sake.
Looked like it was going to be a solid signing. Turns out, not the best move we could have made.
That's what happens when you have no competition.
Yeah, exactly.
For a job.
That's the thing. Is if he would have brought in competition for him, it would have been the smart move.
Probably would have played better.
But now we have to wait to see if maybe the Bears will bring in more competition for their kickers who have no NFL experience.
Do we want to stick with the Bears, or do we want to keep going on other ones first?
Well, let's go with a few more, and then we can turn it back to the Bears because we'll make our steady way down there.
Sure.
Obviously, another big signing that happened too. Landon Collins, another big free agent, got $84 million, and I believe it's $44.5 million guaranteed on his contract to sign with the Washington Redskins. That's right. Which now I think the Redskins hold the two of the top 5 salaries for defensive backs, being Josh Norman and Landon Collins now. So
it's a good thing they have Josh Norman to cover because we all know Landon Collins sure as hell can't.
Well, he's a pretty decent coverage guy.
Andrew, he doesn't cover people.
You don't think he can cover very well?
No.
I mean, he's a hard-hitting safety.
He doesn't. He's a strong safety for a reason. If he could cover people, he would be a free.
Well, but, I mean, he acts like a free, though. They kind of let him roam wherever he needs to.
Yeah, but
they
most
play
of the
him
time,
in a lot of zone, and they let him go in a lot of spy, really, too.
Yeah, but most of the time he's going to be sticking his face in there around the line of scrimmage. He's not
Yeah,
getting
true.
interceptions.
Well, he's got a few in there. I mean, he's had his.
I mean,
he had
he had 5 back in 2016, but
Yeah.
he's only had 8 for his entire career.
Well, I mean, I think he's always.
He's also had a lot. He's had 100 tackles He's at 100 tackles in 2015, 2016, and 2017, and was just shy at 96 last year.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you look at that defense that the Giants
Trash.
have. Exactly. But, I mean, he's like a linebacker that plays there, you know. And, he's built like one. He's 6 feet, 225. I mean, he's monstrous. I mean, and the guy I think he can bench press like 225 30 times, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah,
he's ridiculously strong.
Yeah, he ain't got shit on Pat O'Donnell.
Well, yeah.
Strongest punter in the league right there. No, seriously.
No,
Like,
it's
he
true.
threw 225 at the combine like 25 times.
Yeah, he put it up.
He's
put
a
up
punter.
big numbers, yeah. But
Stronger than Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, but what do you think on Landon Collins going to the Redskins? Is this the smart move for them, or is this just? Do you think it's just too much, or what are you thinking?
I mean, let's be honest, Andrew. Washington isn't exactly they don't exactly have the best track record when it comes to signing free agents to big contracts. I mean, look at Albert Hainsworth. As soon as he was dominant in Tennessee, got there, literally ate his contract, and didn't do shit while he was there.
He ate a lot more than his contract. Let me tell you that right now. He ate the whole salary cap and everything, man. Jesus.
But I mean, Josh Norman was pretty solid for him. Has been solid for him since they signed. So
yeah.
Landon Collins is definitely given some physicality in the secondary because I mean Josh Norman isn't exactly known for tackling people.
Yeah.
So Landon Collins is definitely given some physicality.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of interesting how he signed within the division.
Yeah, that was a lot of people are like a lot of Giants fans I saw. Obviously, you've got the burning of the jerseys type of thing. People are calling him a traitor and stuff. And all
please. He got 44 million reasons why to sign with Washington.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? I'd do the same thing.
He's got a lot of reasons why to say, yeah, you know what? I can be in Washington.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he doesn't really have to move. I mean, he just has to take the train up there to good old Washington D.C. and stuff. So
I mean,
it's not
gonna do that.
No, but I mean,
wait, do they seriously have a train that goes from New York to D.C.?
Oh, they've got a train that goes all over that East Coast, dude.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how people from New York can like go work in like Philly and stuff, or like D.C. and things like that. Like they don't. Yeah, they've got that. They have those opportunities.
Sounds terrible.
It's
being on a train for like what is that? That's got to be like what 2, 3. That's got to be at least like 3 hours.
It's a lot, man. It is a lot. But
wait,
I mean,
no, it's more than that. That's got to be like 6 hours right there.
It's a long trip.
Depending on how fast the train's going.
It is.
I mean, if it's one of those Japanese bullet trains, then I'd do it.
I don't really know. Well, I mean, who knows? He's probably going to move closer, I assume. I mean, look at all the money he's got.
I was going to say, I don't think he's going to worry about living expenses.
He can buy a house wherever he wants. He can probably buy the White House if he wanted to. What? It's not worth a lot right now. Come on. We are not a political show. I repeat, we are not a political show.
Well, now you just pissed off every conservative and Republican of our audience base. Congratulations.
Politics.
Next, we're going to see Donald Trump tweeting about us on Twitter.
Ooh, that's good publicity. I like that. Hey, man, no publicity is bad. No publicity is bad publicity, okay? Whatever the saying is, I don't really know.
Next.
All right. So we have some others to go through too.
Next?
There's also Earl Thomas as well. Earl Thomas has finally signed his contract.
He's Ravens.
Baltimore Raven. Now, I also want to add in this with Baltimore as well. They've lost quite a bit on the way too. C.J. Mosley signed for $85 million with the Jets.
A lot of money.
They lost Zadarius Smith, who's going to the Green Bay Packers.
Lost Terrell Suggs
to Arizona.
I'm actually kind of surprised that he wouldn't play out his last year in Baltimore, to be honest with you. Like, I understand the whole thing because he's from the Arizona area.
Yeah.
So I imagine this is going to be one season. He's going to return, have all his
It's one more fun in the sun.
His post football life is all going to be set up there and stuff like that. But I'm still kind of surprised that he wouldn't play out his last season with the Ravens.
A lot of people were hoping he would. I think a lot of people were also anticipating though, like
maybe he'd just retire.
Yeah, I think that was it. Is like a lot of people were looking at this year saying he's probably going to retire soon. Like he'll have one more decent year left. But all he really does now is just pass rush. You don't ask him to go,
Yeah, he's not
try to cover
an every down.
anybody.
He's not an every down player.
No,
anymore.
he's not. He's like a third down pass rusher now. So,
That's still someone.
but I mean,
he's
it's
still one of the scariest dudes. In
oh,
the
he
NFL,
is,
though.
and he's he's got a Hall of Fame career bump,
Yeah.
or at least potential Hall
I'd
of Fame,
agree.
I would say at
I'd
least.
agree.
But no, I mean for the Ravens, I mean picking up Earl Thomas, to me, I think it's a smart signing. Obviously, there was a lot of anticipation that Earl Thomas was going to go with them Cowboys down in Dallas, but it seems as though Dallas kind of botched this one. Although Dallas really doesn't.
Dallas botching something, Andrew. That's never happened before.
Although I will say this, Dallas really, I don't think they have the resources. Well, I think they do have the resources, but I don't think they have the resources to really pour into.
I mean, they got enough resources to get Jason Witten out of retirement.
I mean, anything could have gotten Jason Witten. I think we got Jason Witten out of retirement because he's like, I suck at the booth. And it's like, yeah, you do. Like, you're inconsistent. You're incompetent. Nobody likes you.
Incoherent.
That's why we all love Tony Romo and not you.
Danny Trevathan. Trevathan and Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, get it right. But yeah, so Earl Thomas, he got $55 million on a 4-year deal, $32 million guaranteed. It's a lot of pennies and nickels, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's a lot for him to work with. And on top of that, too, here's a fun stat for you. So anytime Thomas has been on the field, the total QBR rating for guys has been a 46.6. That's when all his time he's been with the Seahawks, 46.6 when he's on the field.
Wow.
When he's off the field, it's a 52.1. So, I mean, he's a big impact player. Talk about touchdowns to interceptions. When he's off the field, 31 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions. When he's on the field, 30 touchdowns to 30 interceptions. It's a straight down the line shot.
Wow.
He is a huge difference maker in terms of defense, and I think for the Ravens, and especially with Eric Weddle now leaving to go to the Rams, this is a smart move for them, and it's a smart move for him too. He's their type of player. He's a perfect. He is not Ed Reed. Let me make that clear. He's not Ed Reed.
Nobody is.
But he's very close to being that sort of impact player through hitting guys and through being able to key the ball in the air. He's that type of player.
Doesn't return the ball like Ed Reed, though.
No, Ed Reed was a stud when it came to that speed. Earl Thomas, I mean, he's got speed on him, but it's like he's more of a guy that like flies to the point of impact. He's not really a guy that likes to fly to the point of like a touchdown.
Yeah.
Ed Reed was just scary fast overall.
That's the U, baby.
Absolutely. But I mean, there's been a lot of big signings. Kevin, I wanted to ask you though, is there any signing that we've kind of talked about or that you've seen that you in particular were kind of shocked with, or that you thought was like is going to be super impactful? I mean, outside of the ones that we've obviously talked about. I mean, was there any?
I'd say there's a trade. Obviously, you probably know which one I'm talking about, is the Odell Beckham trade.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because I don't know what is going on with the Giants organization, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not in a rebuild mode. They're in a dumpster fire right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they're
you don't
trouble.
rebuild with a 38-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
And so now basically it's literally they have Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard.
Pretty much.
That's about it.
And an aging Eli Manning.
Ancient Eli Manning.
With a
ancient offensive line and no pass rush, no secondary.
To be fair, their offensive line did get a little better. They were able to get Zietler from the Cleveland Browns for the trade for Olivier Vernon. So not the worst move in the world. I mean, they could have the best guard duo with him and Hernandez, because Hernandez was a strong piece for them last year in protecting the pass.
True.
Now, obviously, Nick Solder's got to do his part, but I mean, it is what it is, obviously. But it's still a good trade in that part. But this one,
Odell Beckham to the Browns, like
it's unbelievable.
Andrew, their offense just became a problem for that division.
Oh yeah, the AFC East is now, or AFC North is now just looking scary.
That's a problem because the Pittsburgh Steelers are their most vulnerable for probably the first time in about 10 years. They're at their most vulnerable. We don't know the Ravens are still in that transition period because we don't know how good Lamar Jackson's going to be year 2.
Right. Well, and now you've lost so many key pieces to your defense.
Exactly.
Even though you added Earl Thomas, that's great.
And
You've lost.
the Bengals finally got their heads out of their asses and fired Marvin Lewis.
Yes.
So now that's another question is what are the Bengals going to look like?
Yeah.
Nobody really knows that either because outside of Joe Mixon and A.J. Green.
They don't really have much. Well, and I'll throw in Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap on defense for them.
Next, if you've wasted a lot of those guys' prime of their career, especially Geno Atkins.
Yeah, they've lost a lot of time there.
And so,
but yeah, you're right. I mean, that trade. First off, I will say this: how are you as the Giants? And this is where I may go into a tirade. How are you as the Giants not looking at a top 3 wide receiver like Odell Beckham Jr. and saying he's a two first round picks worthy, and you come out with a first, a third, and Jabril Peppers? Are you kidding me? Jabril Peppers? Because let me tell you, this is where I'm going to go hot, okay? Because here's the thing. I've got a problem with Jabril Peppers because of his whole I'm just an athlete at Michigan thing.
Trash.
I didn't feel like that was really suitable for him. He goes in and plays safety. Okay, he can do it. It was mainly his primary position at Michigan. He could probably pull it off. He had a pretty decent year last year with the Browns. He is not your replacement, though, for Landon Collins. But that's enough to sell the Giants on, yeah, just give us a first and a third and we'll be fine. Are you high? Are you kidding me? That's what you give up for arguably one of the top receivers in the league? How are you not getting, like, next year's first rounder from the Browns? Like, I don't understand how that's possible.
They wanted to get rid of him.
I mean, I get that, but, like, why are you not getting the value? And that brings me up to the next guy that we're going to talk about here, too, with Antonio Brown. How did the Steelers just clearly let this guy run the ship for them and say
because they wanted to get rid of him.
Exactly.
And Andrew, that's the whole thing. You got to remember, the Pittsburgh Steelers don't do change. They've had 3 head coaches in the entire existence of their franchise.
Right.
They've had 3 head coaches. They don't do change.
Yeah.
So when something like this that they've never dealt with before happens, that was not a rational decision.
Right.
It really was not a rational decision. And to me, honestly, I think it was one of those cases of that the first offer that was semi-decent, they took.
Yeah.
Regardless of who it was, where it was going to go, what they were going to get, they just want Antonio Brown out.
I just feel like, though, like, the Steelers, they should have been able to, like, my whole thinking was, okay, if the Raiders are really going to get this guy, it's going to cost them either the 4th overall pick in somebody, or it's going to cost them the 2 first-round picks they have back-to-back in the late of the first round,
Yep.
And then maybe something else to add on to it, like a 3rd-round pick or whatever.
Yeah.
I was not expecting them to be like,
here's a 3rd and a 5th.
3rd and a 5th, yeah, just take it, whatever. Get him out of here. And I understand that's probably what they were doing.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
probably
like,
their attitude.
He's a headache in the locker room. He's a very prima donna-like wide receiver. We don't want to deal with it anymore. But I'm just thinking, like, how do the Steelers not get more value out of a guy who's regarded as the top I would say he's the top wide receiver in the NFL right now. But, I mean, then again, who knows? Maybe Pittsburgh knows something that we don't.
Well,
Maybe they think like he's going to be cataclysmic for John Gruden, Derek Carr, and that entire team.
Well,
if they even stay together, who knows?
Well, Andrew, the one thing I do know about Antonio Brown is that he's had over 1,000 yards and 100 catches every year the last 6 seasons.
True.
And Jerry Rice didn't even do that.
Yeah. But I mean,
so that I'm not here saying Antonio Brown is better than Jerry Rice because.
It's ridiculous.
But
to say
the whole thing is that he has done things in these last 5, 6, 7 years that nobody else at the position has done.
Right. But we also have to remember too, and we mentioned this stat last show. All those touchdowns, all 10,000 yards of that have gone down to one QB throwing him the ball, one guy his whole career, and that's been Big Ben Roethlisberger. Outside of him, only 536 yards, no touchdowns. Nobody, nada. So if it's not Big Ben throwing him the ball, if it's Derek Carr is still a decent QB, but he struggled a lot last year.
Yeah.
Now, granted,
Didn't have
a lot of pressure came on him because they didn't have an offensive line, but the Raiders seem to have gotten some help with that with Trent Brown now coming to the team.
Except now Antonio Brown's the only person he has to throw the ball to.
Well, now they have signed somebody else. Tyrell Williams from the San Diego Chargers is now signed with the Raiders as well.
Oh,
so
I didn't
he's
see
going to
that
be
one.
their number 2
I missed
wide
that
receiver.
one.
Yeah, it just happened a couple minutes ago. So he's officially now an Oakland Raider.
Oh.
He is now going to be their number 2 wideout.
Gotcha.
So it's not a bad setup, but I still question though John Gruden. As much as I like him, here's the thing, and I'll say this again. I like John Gruden as an offensive coordinator, as a QB coach.
Yep.
When I put him in the head coaching spot, I don't know. Like people will say, "Oh, but 2002, he had an amazing defense that was built by Tony Dungy and an offense that was in Lovie Smith and an offense that was semi decent."
Okay, and also
because he had great running attacks and decent passing.
And also, you have to remember, he knew the entirety of the Oakland Raiders organization and their plays and their schemes inside and out.
Right. He knew Rich Gannon. He
literally
knew how to play that team.
How to play against Rich Gannon. He knew how to attack that defense.
Right.
Because he did it every day in practice.
Yeah.
He knew how to go up against that team.
Exactly.
So literally all he had to do, I have a bunch of talent. Hey, guys, don't screw it up.
Yeah. And that's why I say, like, a lot of people were like, oh, Pittsburgh really lost on this trade. And I will say, yeah, Pittsburgh lost on this trade. But I will also say this. I don't think this secures Oakland's spot anywhere near, even though you've kept those 3 first-round picks. Even if you've kept if they draft well, which I'm sure they can, and we're going to get into that here pretty soon too. We're going to talk about that. But even if they do draft decently, I still think you're going to find problems with that. Because there's still a huge division, I feel, within the locker room because John Gruden has sort of said, everybody after this moment that I was hired is now expendable. That's pretty much how he's made it sound. As soon as I was signed, everybody before then or everybody after or everybody before that moment now is expendable. Everybody after that is going to be my guy. Yep. And he loves to run with a lot of veterans, and I get that. You know, you want experience, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, just ask Tom Thibodeau what happens when all you play is veterans.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I mean, it's a tough call. I think he's going to have a decent season.
No,
yeah, I think he could have a decent season. I'm not saying miraculous though. There's a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, but him and Derek Carr, they're going to hook it up," and they're not going to hook it up. It's not going to happen. Especially too when you've got to remember they've got 1 more year left here in Oakland. They were able to manage that deal out to stay 1 more year in Oakland.
What the hell's going on with that stadium?
I don't know. But it seems like they've got 1 more year locked in Oakland, and then it's like moving to Las Vegas, which by that point you better hope that stadium's ready.
Yeah.
And if that stadium's not ready, then
then we're
you better be ready to be the Las Vegas Raiders and have nobody showing up to your games.
Play in the desert.
Exactly. But
why not? You know, you can just just play in the desert, street style. Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Or you know what? Just play on the strip. Better yet.
You know what? If you want to really attract fans, we can dodge between all the.
If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a ball.
Exactly.
If you can dodge a car, you can dodge a tackler.
So you can dodge a person handing out stripper posters. You can dodge anything. Really. But yeah, I mean this. I wanted to before we get out of this one, I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's been a lot of big signings. We didn't get it to everybody, but there's certainly been a lot of money thrown around in this one. Everybody is trying to find their man. And just real quickly, I want to hit the Bears.
Yep.
Lost Adrian Amos.
Yep.
Picked up Buster Skrine, kind of the replacement for Bryce Callahan.
Pretty good.
Drafted. Signed Mike Davis, former Seahawk, running back. There's a lot of assumptions being made for all these different things. A lot of people are saying the Bears are kind of missing the target on this. What are your feelings on this? I know how I'm feeling on it, but I want you to go real fast.
I don't think they've missed the target because I don't really know what the target is. Because, I mean, really the only thing that we had to do was get a different kicker.
Right.
Would it have been nice if the Bears could have somehow used that cap space to go after a guy like Le'Veon Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but let's be honest, guys. The Bears wouldn't have the cap space to pay him that much.
Right.
Because if they did, then you would have had to look at a lot of guys on your young defense that you wouldn't be able to keep.
Yeah.
And specifically talking about one person, Eddie Jackson.
Right.
So people are like, oh, well, they restructured Khalil Mack's contract. Well, yeah, of course they were going to do. They were going to probably end up doing that anyway because
and they did it for Eddie Goldman too, and that freed up almost
and Kyle Long.
And they freed up almost $25 million worth of cap space.
But the signing I did like, Andrew, I really like Cordell Patterson. I really do.
Yeah.
Because number one, he gives us something that we need, and that's a kick returner, an actual kick returner. So we don't need Tariq Cohen to be back there. We don't need Anthony Miller to be back there or Anthony Mizell.
Yeah.
So we got Cordero Patterson back there who the Bears, since Devin Hester left, have had 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Cordero Patterson has had 2 by himself.
So
there's that, including, the one he had against the Bears last year, which ultimately basically ended up being the deciding factor in the game.
Yeah.
And also, the guy's versatile. I think the stat was he took 19% of his offensive snaps last year at running back.
Yeah.
And he did a very serviceable job for the Patriots at running back when, Sony Michel was out, Burkhead was out.
Yeah, they were down to their last core, and he was it. And they said, step in there, and he did a decent job.
He did a pretty good job. Obviously, he still has elite speed. That's what he had at Tennessee coming out of college. I mean, he still runs under a 4.5.
Yes, he does.
And he's a big dude. He's 6'2", 220, and is running at 4.5. Guess what? You give that man the ball in open space.
Yeah.
He's either going to be able to run somebody over or just flat out outrun them.
Well, and that's the good thing about him too. And I'm glad you brought up Cordell Patterson because I was going to say, with him and Taylor Gabriel now, you've got 2 deep threats that you can work with, and then your 2 sort of inside guys that you can feed in Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller. And so this gives you.
Don't forget about Trey Burton, obviously.
Exactly,
either.
Trey Burton's there too, and then you put Tariq Cohen in that situation. Obviously, there's a giant question mark on what's going to happen with
Jordan
Howard. Who knows? I will say this. Us signing Mike Davis does not mean that Jordan Howard's necessarily going to go.
No.
Do I think they're trying to see if they can find somebody that will fit the scheme better?
If they can get something good for him, maybe like a second-round pick something like that. If you can get a second-round pick for Jordan Howard, and it's in a decent position in the draft, I would say take it. If but I heard this morning on the Score, and it was actually a Rick Camp.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't worry about the Bears making a decision about Jordan Howard at least until after the draft.
No.
Because you want to see where the draft falls. Because, I mean, if you can find another guy that's like a Tariq Cohen-like player or a Kareem Hunt-like player that's going to be a versatile, multi-purpose back, dual threat, then you can look more seriously into getting rid of Jordan Howard.
No, yeah, definitely.
But if you don't get someone like that, I mean, Jordan Howard still averaged almost just a hair under 4 yards a carry last year.
Yeah, definitely.
So 4 yards a carry doesn't grow on trees.
Here's what I'll say, and then this will be our transition into the NFL draft for you. So say the Bears are going into the NFL draft, right?
Yep.
We have our 3rd-round pick still. Yep. We have Jordan Howard.
Yep.
If we get some sort of offer into the second round to get a 2nd-round pick, and Josh Jacobs from Alabama is there, how do you feeling on Josh Jacobs? This will be so now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to transition this one into the NFL draft. So before we jump into this one and Kevin gives his thoughts on this, what do you guys think about free agency? You guys can let us know. Comment down below. Give us all the information on what you think the NFL free agency has been. Best signings, worst signings, best trades, worst trades. Trades you think are going to come, signings you think are going to come. You guys can let us know all that stuff down below. Kev, what do you think, man? Going into the NFL draft here.
That was a bad dude at Alabama.
It was. And he was one of
bad dude.
And remember, he was one of a 3-headed snake, basically, that could attack.
He had 11 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Only at 604 yards, but he averaged 5.3 a carry and 11 touchdowns.
Exactly. And he was considered to be like he was the number 2 back in that offense because Damian Harris was there and the more experience, and then he had Najee Harris behind him sort of picking up the scraps as the 3rd down back.
That's something to seriously consider, Andrew. In all honesty, do you think he fits the Bears scheme? That's the thing. That's what everyone was like, oh, well, why is Jordan Howard playing so bad?
Mm-hmm.
Is because everyone has to understand this. Again, the Andy Reid style offense.
Yep.
It's not so much about north and south. It's a lot of east-west. It's running parallel to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Reading. It's a lot of zone reads, a lot of zone blocking schemes. And as soon as the gap is there, you have to get through it and get through it yesterday.
Yeah.
Jordan Howard's not a back like that thrives in going side to side. He is a one-cut downhill run you over running back.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So if they think that and it's hard to tell with Josh Jacobs though, because the Alabama offense is so versatile.
Yeah.
It's literally like a year-to-year thing as to how their offense is going to be run. It's basically, oh, hey, what type of talent do we have at quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
What running backs do we have? What wide receivers, tight ends, offensive line we have? All right, you know what? We're going to go with this style this year because this is going to work and whoop everybody's ass.
Yeah. Well, and I just bring that up because, I mean, I look at his –
he's definitely talented, though.
He definitely is. I mean, right now he's projected to be the number one running back drafted. Not the number one overall pick, but he's projected to be the first running back to come off the board. He's projected to be a first-rounder as well. He's extremely talented. He's 5'10". He's 215 pounds. He's shown the ability to definitely run the ball strong. He's shown the ability to have speed on the outside. He can catch the ball. He can block. He can do a lot. He's a very versatile running back. But you are right. I mean, with the way this Alabama's offense does work, it shifts a lot of times. And he did not get a lot of passes thrown to him. Mostly because they didn't feel the need to throw the ball to him. They have a lot of wide receivers and a lot of players that they could really work with. And he's, as much as he's a part of the scheme, he's sort of a minuscule part of that scheme, unfortunately. It's the way that it goes. But you could see, though, they started to feed him the ball more down the end, towards the end of the season because they saw he has the best ability to help us win.
Yep.
So you can only imagine if he's not splitting carries with Damian Harris and Najee Harris.
How good is he going to be?
He's probably one of the top running backs in college football.
I mean,
he has to be. I mean, I think.
And that was the other thing is that I relate that to Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon sat out, was obviously, he was suspended for that entire season in Oklahoma. Right. Came back, and he was still splitting carries with P. Ryan a little bit.
Right.
Then all of a sudden last year he came out and Leonard Fournette. Joe Mixon was leaps and bounds better than Leonard Fournette last year.
Oh, absolutely.
So I definitely agree with that, Andrew. That it's definitely going to be an interesting thing to see if he's not splitting carries, how good can he be?
Yeah.
Of course, today was the big day on everybody's NFL calendar that Kyler Murray had his pro day today.
That's true. He did just finish up his pro day about an hour ago or so. And according to everybody, they said they're very impressed with what they saw from him. Now, obviously, a pro day is sort of set up in that way to kind of be like, well, we're going to showcase his best skills. And I'll say this because I can already kind of see the look on Kevin's face because I got a feeling I know where he's going to go with this. I will say this. I think Kyler Murray has excellent skills as a quarterback in college. Mm-hmm. Put him in the pros, and I think he can transition fairly well. But I think a lot of it's going to come down to what kind of offense is he going to be around, who's he going to have to be able to throw to, is he going to have proper protection, and then also is he going to have defense that's going to be able to support him. Yep. A lot of factors have to fall into it. Can he be a starting quarterback in the NFL? I think he has the potential. Should he be the number one pick? I would probably say no. I still think the best quarterback in this draft is going to be Dwayne Haskins. I think he's going to be the best of this bunch. I mean,
such as it is.
Right. I mean, Drew Lock's decent. Daniel Jones is smart and he's got the skills.
Drew Lock really fell off, didn't he?
He did. And that's unfortunate, but I mean, that's the way it goes when you play in the SEC and you play at Mizzou, man. I mean, you get stuck you're in a wide range offense and everyone's like, well, he could be a first round pick, but it's like, who needs a quarterback now? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Miami certainly, I would say yes. Redskins should certainly, I think, look at one. Arizona's one, definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised if Oakland takes one.
Right. Oakland's a possibility. Well, and here's something that I put this on Facebook, and I'm going to put this to you. So Oakland feels like Derek Carr's not there. Arizona's got the number one pick. Would you not be shocked if Oakland sent the 4th overall pick and maybe one of their other first-round picks and Derek Carr to Arizona to get the number 1 pick and then plus something else.
I wouldn't be surprised. Sounds like an Oakland thing to do.
That's what I'm thinking. And then they would probably be the ones that draft Kyler Murray, I think.
Yeah.
Where I think they would probably be better off with Dwayne Haskins, especially with the type of players that you've got right now.
Yeah.
But, it's so tough to judge with this kid, though, because he's so talented. And he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
And I think he is the best player in college football last year, 100%.
Yep.
But it's hard to lock down, but can he be the quarterback for this team? But then again, I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, well, he only played 1 season really as a starting quarterback. Yeah, so did Trubisky, and how's that working out for us? I got to say, I'm all thumbs about it. Just saying, man. But because I'm not going to put that past him. But what do you think, man?
Okay. So I agree with Andrew to the point that Kyler Murray is very, very talented, athletically gifted.
Okay.
He can sling the football around pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
He showed that at Oklahoma.
Yep.
Did that in just about every game except for the first half against Alabama.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's Alabama, so
right.
that's
a tough one to go against.
I'm sorry, Kyler Murray. I gotta roast you, Andrew. I don't understand this. So we're going into the combine, right? And the combine's 4 days long, right? It's a 4-day long thing.
Yeah.
And we're going in, and Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, they have possibly top 10.
Yeah.
Probably top 10. And this guy says the week going in that, he's not going to throw.
Right.
Which, of course, we kind of all figured that one out.
Right.
Because, no quarterbacks ever decide to throw at the combine because, God forbid, you can throw to a receiver you haven't known for the last 4 years.
Yeah, really.
God forbid you can do that, you delicate geniuses. But he was going to do the athletic stuff. So, run the 40, do the shuttle drill, bench press, squats, broad jumps, all that other type of athletic-y stuff.
Yeah.
And then the night before, he says, yeah, remember when I said I was going to do the athleticism? Nah, I can't be bothered to do that either.
Right.
So I have never seen in my life someone who goes from being top 10, goes to this event, does nothing but get in a spandex shirt, glorified compression shorts, stands on a scale, lets someone measure his height, answers a couple of questions, and now he goes from borderline top 10 to the number 1 pick in the draft? For doing what?
For being Kyler Murray, man.
And then to make matters worse, today it was just reported on CBS Sports afterwards that, he didn't throw again. Or no, he threw. He did all the throwing drills off a scripted drills.
Yeah.
So he knew all the plays that he was and all the routes that he was going to throw.
Yeah.
Before he was going to throw them.
Right.
Also, he didn't run the 40 again.
Right.
Didn't do the shuttle again. And he wasn't measured.
Yeah.
For height either. But he was weighed in at 205.
Right. Yeah, I saw that.
Guess what? I am going to tell you this much. Because how much did he weigh in the season? Like $185?
He was projected around 190, 195. That was his max, I was saying.
So he's in a couple of months. So he's gained about 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I'll bet you any money his athleticism isn't where it was.
You think so?
Gaining that much weight that quick? Absolutely not.
I'll
bet you any money that's why he hasn't done a single athletic drill.
It definitely can shake a player. It's happened before where guys suddenly put on because what was it, Jadeveon Clowney? Well, Jadeveon, I'll say this, he was the opposite, where he looked like they said he was pressing 300 pounds at one point, and then he dropped 50 pounds and he came in at 255, and all of a sudden everybody's like, whoa, oh my God, this guy's an athlete.
Also, in his defense, you aren't lifting the same way during your season.
No, true.
As you would be in the offseason.
Right.
That I will give him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Andrew, if you put on that much, especially if it's muscle mass, that fast, your body is going to need time to adapt to it. And you're not going to be able to run with it because you're carrying just more weight.
Yeah. And also too, obviously – there was that there's been a lot of talk about the interview and the situation with Charlie Casserly and how he interviewed with him and stuff. And they said that his interview did not go well. He didn't like the answers. And then all of a sudden,
Oh, I was going to bring that up.
it flipped around on him.
I was going to bring that up.
And here's what I'm going to say. And I want everybody to make sure to hear me out loud and clear on this. Obviously, Charlie Casserly could have been right about these comments. I've heard
he knows what he's talking about too, guys.
Yeah, but I've heard Kyler Murray talk before, and he's not a dumb kid.
No.
He's a very smart, intelligent kid. He knows his playbook, it seems like. But the way Casserly made it seem like, it's like he's questioning a lot of this kid's ability to be a quarterback and intelligence. Now, that may be the case, but I will also give a shout-out to Nick Wright, who said this, and he's got a point, because there does seem to be a lot of this kind of stuff happening where when it comes to black quarterbacks, especially, there seems to be some sort of stigma on, well, can he learn the system? It happened with Russell Wilson. It happened with Cam Newton, especially with Cam Newton. For some reason, I don't know why, he was like the special case.
Okay.
And I think a lot of it was because he was very showboaty at Auburn. He was very flamboyant.
The only way I will play devil's advocate with Cam Newton is because of that Auburn team, he didn't throw the ball as much as he ran the ball.
Right.
Like, they actually
He ran
a lot of that
quite a
playbook
bit.
was designed runs. It wasn't even
Right.
like Lamar Jackson where it was scrambles combined with draws and stuff. Like, there was a lot of designed runs.
Oh, yeah.
But I definitely agree with you. Then let's go with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is another one people were questioning. Oh, can he handle
Yeah, exactly.
NFL pro-style offense?
Yeah. And
Guys, it's 2019. It has to stop.
yeah.
It has to stop.
I mean, and this has been going on for years.
Oh, forever.
But
Since Warren Moon.
But I give a lot of credit to Nick Wright for pointing that out, because he's right. Because this is something that even
Nick Wright's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what you did there.
But I mean, I won't question the guy's intelligence until we actually maybe get a chance to really hear him out more discussing the playbook. Like, I'm not saying John Gruden's going to do like his QB camp thing again,
No.
but like if we get a chance
He's
to
got
like
more
see
important
the
things to worry about than
right,
that.
but if we get a chance to sit down and see how he works and studies, then I'm going to make my own judgment for myself. And if he goes out there and he plays for Arizona or Oakland or whoever drafts him and he plays well, guess what then? He's a good quarterback.
Well, for his sake, I hope he doesn't go to Arizona.
Well, I will say this. If he goes to Arizona, the benefit he has there is having Larry Fitzgerald to throw to, because with an experienced wide receiver on a young QB.
Teach him how to be a pro.
Teach him how to be a pro, exactly. Teach him how to be the right pro, too. Because Larry Fitzgerald, you've never heard a peep from that guy.
Other than good.
Exactly. Other than 100 catches and 1,000 yards over and over again. Obviously not last year. But, you know, we've only heard good things.
Yep.
And Arizona, I think, would be a good fit. Obviously, Cliff Kingsbury, wide-out offense. It could potentially work for the kid, but...
Well, the other thing that we have to remember, guys, is that Kyler Murray did play in an air raid offense.
Right,
which,
exactly.
Yeah, is it as complicated in terms of footwork and stuff like that? And he's not going to be taking, 7-step drops,
Right.
7-step drops like you would in a pro-style offense. But, Andrew, there's a lot going on in an air raid offense.
Oh, there's...
Because you're consistently having 4 or 5 guys in patterns every single time in some combination of tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. You have
Right.
your own protections. A bunch of the receivers, Andrew, I mean, I studied some of the air raid offense in college as well.
Yeah.
Depending on the play call, the receivers would be changing their routes based on the coverage that they saw.
Yeah, well, there's multiple things like you can do within a formation, because I've seen the playbook for that thing, and like on one assignment there can be like 9 different things that can happen within it.
So you got to know your stuff.
Right.
You have to know your stuff to quarterback a successful pro style offense or air raid offense. And obviously, we saw what happened with Kyler Murray running that air raid offense.
Yeah.
Did arguably even better than Baker Mayfield did the year before.
Definitely,
Who also won the Heisman.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would say I mean, if you I don't want to compare the two because obviously they're a little bit different,
Yep.
but in their ability both to quarterback Oklahoma, I got to kind of give it to Kyler Murray. I think he did just a tiny bit better job. Now, Baker had a little bit more time to work with the offense.
Yep.
But Kyler, I think, did just as good a job. I mean, and a lot of it works, too, because he had a little bit more athleticism to himself. But you use the tools you're given. That's all I can say. Now, I don't want to just talk on Kyler Murray because obviously – and we're going to get to more draft stuff as the draft's coming up soon because it's coming up in April. So you're gonna hear more about this in other episodes along the way.
Yeah.
But obviously with the draft in the combine, were there any players for you that stuck out that are obviously from the top guys to whoever that you really liked?
DK Metcalf.
I was gonna say I think everybody was kind of shocked with that. I can't believe the stuff that man has going on with him. Ran up under 4.4. He ran under a 4.4.
He ran 0.02 of a second faster than Julio Jones.
Was it? Did he really? Unbelievable.
Faster than Julio Jones.
6'3", 220. And was the number 2 wide receiver in that offense at Ole Miss. A.J. Brown was their top guy.
1.9% body fat percentage.
That's unhealthy, I heard. Like, I heard from a trainer, he said that's not even humanly possible because if it is, that is so unhealthy because that person is on the verge of dying. He's like, there's no way that should be possible. Yet that man looks like he's chiseled from, like, gold.
Did you see, like, when he was running, his veins were, like,
I know. It's
there. That's not, like big fella, you need a little bit of fat on you, man. You just need just a little bit.
God, he looks like a Greek god.
Like, here, I will give you 5 pounds off of me and just give it to you.
Oh, forget that, man. You want some of this? Huh? I'll give you some. I swear to God. You can have half, dude. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give him all of it. He can chisel it out for me, and then I'll take it back. That's what he'll do. I know that's not how it works, but
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying.
that's how that works.
No, I'm just like unbelievable, dude. No, he's a freak of nature athlete.
But yeah, him. Nick Bosa looked good.
I think he's gonna be better than his brother.
You think so?
I'm gonna say that right now. I think he's a better. Even though he didn't play as long as his brother did, even though he dropped out of Ohio State for all the training and stuff, I think he looks a lot better than his brother. I think he will have a better career than Joey.
I liked Trace McSorley too.
Yeah, he looked like he was on par.
Athlete.
I don't know if he'll get drafted
as a quarterback.
I think he'll be a quarterback no matter what. But
I think someone will take him in the 5th, 6th, 7th rounds. I think someone will pick him up.
Maybe the 7th, but unfortunately, I just don't think a lot of people are looking at Penn State saying, yeah, because obviously with what happened with Christian Hackenberg, it kind of just burns bridges.
AAF All-Star, let's go. Christian Hackenberg, start the campaign, everybody.
Oh, God. I'm going for Aaron Murray, man. That dude's been on fire in the AAF.
All right, you know what? I like Aaron Murray.
He's been on fire for the AAF.
And don't forget about your boy, Zach Mettenberger, either.
Oh, God, Zach Mettenberger. I forgot about him being in there. No, you're right. I'm definitely – DJ Metcalf certainly impressed me. Nick Bosa, absolutely. I will say I think the guy that's going to come out of this draft and he's going to be our next Khalil Mack is going to be Josh Allen. That dude is a freak of nature athlete on the pass rush.
He's a big human.
He's 6'5", he's 260. He can run like I think he ran like a 4.5 or something like that, or a 4.65.
Yeah, he ran faster than most of the linebackers.
I mean, he's an insanely gifted athlete, and I think he's going to be.
Then there's us.
Yeah, and then there's everybody else. There's DJ Metcalf, Nick Bosa, and Josh Allen, and then there's just everybody else. And I gotta say, a lot of these guys, I'm very impressed with because they all look like they're supremely gifted athletes. Like I was watching where Devin White ran the fastest 40 of all the linebackers, and he's a middle linebacker.
Yeah.
That guy should be the next great middle linebacker, I think, in the NFL.
Come to Chicago.
And that's not me just saying that as an LSU fan.
Come to Chicago.
That's just me saying that as a football fan and as somebody
Smith and Devin White.
That would be amazing, but I like Danny Trevathan too much.
I mean, yeah, so do I, but
I know, man.
Then we can have Devin White play outside for a year, and then once Danny Trevathan retires, and go back inside, and then you'll proceed to seek and destroy.
I know, I would love it. And then, but the other guy I'm gonna say too, Quentin Williams. He keeps impressing me. I hate the guy so much because of I don't hate him, but I loathe him so much because he's an Alabama man. But he's quick. He's fast. He ran the fastest time of all defensive linemen. I mean, he's a heck of a player.
Andrew,
what do you got?
This is just from Ian Rappaport.
Mm-hmm.
Bears have been are hosting a meeting with Clinton Dix.
Really? Are you telling me we're going to be trading safeties?
No, he's a free agent.
Well, no, but I mean, in terms of they take Amos from us, we take HaHa Clinton Dix.
Well, because remember they trade HaHa Clinton Dix to Washington.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, still, we're getting so they're taking our leftovers.
I'll
and
do
we're
it.
taking.
Andrew, my rule. Did he go to Alabama? Did he play defense?
Yes.
If the answer to both of those questions is yes, you get him.
Yes. I mean,
Eddie Jackson and HaHa Clinton Dix back there? Are you kidding me?
Not only that, but you're talking about 2 Alabama boys back there. It will be interesting, and not only that, but Clinton Dix is physical. He's big.
And he has a nose for the football, too.
Right.
He's no slouch when it comes to breaking up passes and coverage either.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that concerns me is injuries. That's the only thing that would concern me on that. But other than that, no, it's a smart play for them. But then inside this draft, I mean, oh, God, there's a lot of talent.
I know. You know,
there's a lot of talent
you
in
know
this
what's
draft.
funny? Tom's going to go nuts because I'm going to what about Julian Love? Or not Julian Love. Oh my God. Tom is gonna slap me through like the stream. I'm gonna slap myself because he was an All-American this year at corner.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't.
For Notre Dame?
Yes.
Are you sure that it's Julian Love? I'm pretty sure.
It is Julian Love. Damn it.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're good.
Julian Love.
I will say, I know he's gonna be like, no, first round pick. I think he's easily. I think he's easily
second
like
or
a
third.
late second, early third round pick because he is a big physical corner. He's a big
really,
physical
really
corner.
good.
The big thing I think a lot of people are going to test him on is can he make the turnovers?
Yep.
Because he wasn't really an interception machine.
No.
But he can.
He was a lockdown corner and he could tackle people.
Exactly. He can knock the ball down. He can tackle. He can cover the best. I mean, so I like him. So there you go, Tom. I gave your Notre Dame some love. So
Notre Dame, baby.
Exactly. So, but I mean, look, I will say this even too. If he falls into the third round and the Bears want to consider the option, get somebody ready to fill in for Mukamara, who, he's still with us now.
He's a little bit older.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
No, I wouldn't either.
I would not be opposed to it. But,
all right, what's next?
Well, I mean, if there's is there any other guy that you can think of now? Otherwise, we're rounding this one out, baby.
No, not really. Because the funny thing is, Andrew, I don't pay as much attention to the combine as I think most people do because I think the art of the combine is utterly ludicrous because if you really wanted a guy, you would already have his tape and his film and you would have talked to him by now anyway. Yeah. So I think the combine is just an unnecessary formality.
I'm going to ask you this just real quick before we end this one out. Do we see 2 tight ends from Iowa go in the first round?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
So you don't think TJ and Noah leave in the first round? I mean, they both did a good job.
I think one of them will.
Okay.
I don't think both of them.
Because I'll tell you right now, both of them are projected to be first-round picks.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Both of them are projected to be first-round picks. TJ Hawkinson, he's projected to go first of the tight ends.
Okay.
And then Noah Fant's supposed to be later down the line.
Well, I guess we'll find out in about a month.
Exactly. All right.
What day is the draft actually?
It's sometime in April. That's all I can tell you. I think it's around the end of April or so. I think. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that's going to do it for us here on this show. Kevin, where can they find you, my man?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at KevinBTheGamer for pretty much my thoughts on pretty much anything. Follow me on Instagram at @the_Berg Squad, where I post a lot of videos of me standing in front of a window at the gym.
Yeah.
And also, if you guys want to follow me on Facebook, you can obviously just search my name, where you can find me constantly sharing videos of dogs doing stupid things or cute things, so that way it makes your day a little bit
that's
better.
Where all those videos are coming from.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know it's from you, but I'm like, I see a lot of dog videos.
And then you can follow. And then you can also follow me and the Respawn Cat over at the Respawn Cast on Twitch. Follow the Facebook page at the Respawn Cast. Yes, I know it's a fantastically creative name. Friday.
I like it.
Yeah, I know, I do too. Friday, guys, I'm not exactly sure what we'll be streaming on Friday, but we will be sure to post on Facebook to let you guys know. And also, I'll be doing a little bit of a remote thing on Friday because I will be at the Chicago Wolves game. So I'll be going at Facebook Live and Snapchat at various points so that way you guys can see what I am doing and how stupid I am.
All right, well,
at a live sports event.
Well, there you guys go. And then if you want to find me, guys, find me on Twitter at @TheFluffyGuru. You can also find us on Facebook as well, XBomb Sports. Make sure to go there and like the page. Make sure to also go to our Twitter at XBomb Sports. Remember, capitalize X on the at XBomb Sports for us at Twitter. Find us on Instagram at XBomb Sports as well. And make sure, guys, to check us out every Wednesday. We're going to be here all the time. Again, the Respawn Cast. Make sure to go check out Kevin, Kat, Shaq, and all the others. We're eventually going to get on the show at some point. I don't know when. We still got to talk with these guys about it.
And again, guys, like we said at the beginning of the show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys. It is XBomb Productions. Obviously, you guys know that because you're watching the show right now.
Yep.
And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave us some comments what you guys liked, didn't like, disliked, or if you guys have any life advice and just want to shoot the shit, we like that too.
Absolutely.
And click that little bell icon so that way whenever we post up a new video on literally anything at all, you will be the first to know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that's going to do it for us here on the show. Again, make sure to subscribe to us, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday on the XBomb Sports Live Show. Much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.